Darvin, you've been talking about sustaining pace, for a full game and, finding a way to hold off the charges that came up. How did that flip tonight in that third quarter and then again in the fourth when they tried to come back?
I mean, for one, we knew they were going to make a couple of runs, prideful championship team. The biggest thing for us, just making it as difficult as possible. They hit some tough shots. We had some unfortunate fouls, some unfortunate turnovers, but we kept the scoreboard moving as well, which you have to do. Again, continuous. You're not going to shut anybody down completely for the entire game. So you just have to be prepared for that onslaught and make sure you're doing what you need to do and meeting force with force. Force them into tough situations. If it doesn't work out, move on to the next play and go try to, go back at them.
It's the first time that you've out-rebounded them in, I think, 6 games, and AD has 23 of them. What did you see from him, and how did that play into the glass overall?
Totally just dominant. Just the way he's been on the glass, changing shots, got a hell of a matchup with Joker. Just his focus, being that defensive catalyst, communicating. Our perimeter guys, all our guys stepped up and played well in terms of trying to control their matchup. Times where we had to switch, just be active on the backside. Got a lot of good stuff to look at film, and just got to be even better, even more perfect.
Coach, with everything that happened in the game tonight, did you kind of wonder to yourself, why haven't we played like this before?
I mean, again, like I said pregame, we've had great stretches against this team. We've played for good segments. We just never quite put together a complete game. Whether it's a whole quarter or a stretch of 7 to 8 minutes that we just kind of dropped the ball. But tonight, we just stay in the end. Our competitiveness never wavered. Our togetherness never wavered. And as I just told them, the selflessness. We found a group that made a nice little run, and it was time for certain guys to come in the game, and those guys who were coming in the game said, no, let them rock out. So that togetherness right there, that growth, and everything we discussed yesterday about being one, and, beautiful day to be alive in order to stay alive. That was the message yesterday and the message today. Just win one game. We got to refocus, recalibrate, and have that same mindset going up to them.
Darvin, D'Angelo is obviously a very confident player, and after game 1
I'm very confident in him.
And came out firing in game 2. He was a little more let the game come to him in terms of flow in this game. Did you like the way he kind of approached this game?
I loved it. I told him to go crazy. Be confident. You've been doing this your whole life. Go crazy and be aggressive. So he looked at me, and his little nickname for me is Big Dog. So I got you, Big Dog. Got you. Shook my hand, gave me a hug, and did what he did tonight. I'm so proud of that kid. It's just everything that we've been through as a team, on the court, off the court, just injuries, everything. Like, we deserve this tonight, and we just got to bottle it up and really keep it pushing, and really understand that, it could be our time. Why not us? So just push through to the next game. Keep that focus. Don't look too far down the road. Don't worry about what just happened behind us. Just every new game is a new opportunity for us to be more competitive, more together, more selfless.
Dar, following up on D'Lo, it felt like his diversity in his shot selection tonight was great, and it's something that you said you wanted to see him do, play downhill, put the ball on the floor. How much did that help the offense in general?
Big time. I mean, whenever he's decisive and aggressive, even his no-looks, LeBron and his pocket passing, the way he finds people, when he's in his mode, and again, being deliberate, being aggressive, he's elite. He's elite. He's an elite offensive player, and so we needed every bit of it tonight.
To kind of follow up a little bit, you guys there was a stat that ESPN posted. I mean, you guys have led more than 100 minutes in this series, and you've outscored them in the first quarter. I think the playoff best plus 27 now, but had nothing to show for it in terms of results. Despite the history of 03, do those stretches give you confidence, bigger picture in this group as it moves forward into this series?
Absolutely. I think again, it's a possession by possession game. You gotta have multiple efforts. You gotta stay aggressive offensively, and on both sides of the ball, you gotta have a next play mentality. You gotta move on to the next play. Good, bad, indifferent. Move on to the next play, and you gotta force force the action, force the whistle. You can't go in there expecting for the whistle to save you. You go to make plays. If you get the whistle, great. If not, it's okay too. We just have to be focused on making plays.
Darvin, kind of a two-part question. A, in the third quarter struggles compared to tonight when they cut it to 7, you guys pushed it back up to 15, 16. A, what did you like there? And B, before the game, you talked about living in the moment, not letting the situation get the better of you playing. So with that, what's the message moving forward as well?
Not becoming stagnant. Just continuing with our pace, continuing getting stops. We got a bunch of dominant stops, and then we got some timely stops. They hit some tough shots, got some N1s. We didn't hang our head. We made sure we was organized going the other way, knowing what we wanted to get into and what group of players offensively we want to end the action. That was at a high level. The communication from Bron, AD, Lowe, everybody, the coaches, everybody just, again, was what we talked about yesterday in our film session, just being together, having that dialogue, guys understanding the moment, just being in the moment and leaning in with joy and not stressing the fear that a situation like this, win or go home, brings a lot of anxiousness, nervousness. We just wanted to lean into the joy of competition.
Darvin, to your left, Darvin. All the way over here. You mentioned in your last answer not being stagnant. Even when Denver starts to make their pushes here and there, you guys seem like still running through your offense efficiently, getting through your sets quickly. How important is that, especially against a team like this, where to be that organized, especially against a team that always seems like they're organized?
Again, you know, it's an ongoing process. It's an ongoing process. I just want us to be all on the same page. I may call a set, Phil. He navigates our offense and try to see how we can extract as much as we can. He and JD and Bron, D'Lo, those guys call different sets out. And all we're doing is trying to get the best out of each offensive possession. Same thing with CJ and the crew, J.O. on the defensive side. So it takes a collective, collaborative effort to be pristine and to continue to stack great possessions on either side of the ball, and that's what it was tonight. That's what it was tonight, both offensively and defensively.
Hey, Darvin, after so many losses to this team, if there was a mental block that you guys had, if it was broken tonight, can that be sort of cathartic and carry, at least emotionally, onto Denver in Game 5?
Yeah, I choose passion over emotion, intelligence over ego. We can't rest on our laurels. It's a beautiful thing for us to finally get a win against this team. These been some hotly contested games, hard fought, and we, break it down to the win-loss column. Obviously, we've been on the short end of the stick. But now that we, quote-unquote, cracked the code, we got to know this is a championship ball club. Like, you crack the safe, they still going to protect the contents within that safe like crazy with their lives. And they don't want you to get what's in that safe out, and they don't want you to get the safe out of their house. And we're about to go to their house. So we got to be focused. We got to have our nutrition, our recovery, our antennas up, a focus on the game plan to take it up even more notches so that we're efficient and we know what we're doing. We're all on the same page, competing our asses off.
Darvin, you guys obviously got off to a rough start at the beginning of last season.
They kicked all you guys out your seats, man. What the hell happened? See Kobe over here by the garage, Dave over there behind the curtain. What the hell, man? No love for the homeboys?
No respect. No respect.
Damn.
But you guys were having to climb out of that and kind of stay in the moment to accomplish your goal. And then kind of again this year, you have that rough stretch and you're 13th in the West and you got to kind of live day by day to get where you want to get and make the play-in tournament, make the first round of the playoffs. Any of that existence, can that help the situation you're in now where it's like you got Game 5, some people would look at this series and say, I wish it was 2-2 or whatever, but you got Game 5, and how has your group been trained to just live with that versus looking elsewhere?
I just think all of the adversity we've been through, like not having key bodies at the beginning of the season, you go all the way back to last year. I mentioned it before the game. Just 2-10 to having to make a key move with the deadline, key moves trying to put all that together on the fly, and then identifying a core and making sure we get those guys back, and extending age, just everything that went into trying to formulate this team, the most continuity that we can possibly have. Coming out, a couple of guys hurt, key guys hurt. Then, we get guys back, someone else goes down, trying to manage, not run Bron and AD into the ground all the while that's happening.